Hey guys, I'm making a video about growing in compost as it's finishing. And so I did some experiments this summer growing in these bigger pots. These are I think 40-gallon pots, and I had some interesting results. So I had this yellow melon, just came from this plant. And as far as productivity goes, around maybe 6 to 10 per bucket as far as yield, which is definitely less than conventional agriculture, but these were unirrigated buckets of compost. Now we're in mid-August and it's late in the summer, and they have basically collapsed as far as like productivity and plants themselves. They're tired and it's hot, but they were productive, and so I want to keep on moving forward. And even to kind of fill you guys in, so this pot over here, it was sitting inside of the kiddie pool as a way to passively catch more rainwater and hold it there for longer, and it was more productive and more successful than those without. So the next iteration of growing in compost is going to be this half of an IBC. So this was from an aquaponic system that I had at one point, and now I'm thinking it's going to be great for growing food in. So it's got two little depressions on either side that are going to be a little water reservoir. It's even got a little bit of a reservoir around where the outflow is going to be. So it's going to be a slowly draining big pot system, and I'm thinking it might be a little bit cooler. So the main reason that these failed was not from lack of moisture. So I watched this one, fine in the water, but that a black plastic pot is very hot, like 130, 140. Burn your hand if you touch it in our high 90 degree days that we have. So so that's the main reason that the plants are failing, is a soil temperature and just baking of the soil, so it doesn't reabsorb moisture. So anyway, this is going to be filled with compost, and then I'm going to plant into it. And now I'm thinking banana, just for perennial, just because I know I can, and I have a dwarf Cavendish that needs to be bumped up. So let me go show you where or what I'm going to be using to grow with, because I've got it stockpiled. I collected it last spring, but it's basically bags of leaves and grass clippings. So let's go. Alright you guys, come on in here. This is where I've been stockpiling resources, stockpiling materials to make soil. So this was a stack of bags of leaves, and I selected these and set them here because of their ratio. They had a good bit of green grass clippings in them. So this was from, there's some trash. This was from around April and May, and so these have just sat here. We're in August now, so that's 3.5 months. The material has shrunk down in volume at least by half, but without any turning, and by just setting these bags here, because these compostable bags, the cool thing about them is they're holding in the moisture that's there. So if you find a bag that has moisture in it, or you find a bag that has grass clippings in it, and basically at an ideal balance, it just decomposes, it just breaks down. And so that's what we've got here. So this is what I'm going to be growing in. So I don't know the quality, we'll see, but it's a little bit anaerobic, so it's a little bit mucky, heavy, and that was a clump of grass clippings. But across the board, I'll get to see how fluffing it up shifts it, and whether or not it's productive, because I have a feeling it's going to be quite productive. There's a lot of life in here, and even though it's anaerobic life, it'll be shifting to aerobic, but it's definitely got its moisture fully internalized. So the mixing of this material is going to do a lot to prepare it to act as soil, but this was nothing more than bags of leaves that had some grass clippings in it. And yeah, a little bit heavy, and that's good feedback for me. You never know. But see the sliminess, a little bit too wet right now. But fluffing it up and just the turning of it, moving it around, is going to probably make it just about perfect. But we'll see. There is no rule book for this growing stuff. So this bin was bags that were pure grass clippings, and I knew that they weren't an ideal growing medium. They always go anaerobic. This top stuff, you know, is getting a little oxygen in it, but down here, I'll show you what happens. Usually with grass clippings, you get maggots. Let's see what we can find. There they are. So it's hot. Oh, sorry. It's hot, and these are not soldier fly maggots, but a different maggot. But there's just too much energy in there, and so if they stay in the bags, they do ferment and bring in the flies. And actually, soldier flies do run on straight grass clippings as well, so they're not a bad energy source for soldier flies. I was going to see if I could find here. Yep. So there are soldier flies as well right there. So that's the maggot that, you know, we appreciate a little bit more than these others, which are, I'm not even sure, like housefly or technid fly, some other fly. But anyway, so this was material that I thought potentially I might be able to mix in, and then I just forgot about it. But I don't see this as a loss. It's just a different kind of resource. What I'll probably end up doing is taking this and mixing it with fresh bags of leaves, so you know, stuff that has very, very low moisture, because this is what this has of value, is moisture, and it's, you know, moisture in the cells. And so I'll mix it and then see what happens as far as its ability, you know, nature's ability to process it all and get it back to good soil. So that was kind of a ramble. I'm gonna go grab a wheelbarrow and I'm gonna go fill up my my new planter with all that. All right, I'm hiding out in the shade, and I finished filling up my my half of an IBC. It really didn't take much. I think it was just 4 wheelbarrow loads, and the stuff turned out to be really nice. So there's a bit of dry stuff mixed in, but what has gone hydrophilic, or has absorbed the moisture into its cells, is really nice, and there's a lot of life in it. You know, even all the roly-polies and sow bugs crawling at the surface. All right, you guys, time to finish the project. As you can see, I did not bring banana plants. Instead, I brought out the tomatoes. Decided I wanted to baby that banana plant, be able to protect it. So, time to put these in the ground. I've got some of my finished compost here. So, this is the quality of the material after just a little bit longer, the decomposition, and I'm going to put it in the holes before I plant. All right, done. So I don't know if you could see, but they didn't have any roots because I had just put them in the gallon pots. They were 4-inch transplants, actually. This is Juliet, and this is one called Carmelo, and they're going to be my fall tomatoes. And I'm basically going to walk away from this and count on that moisture in the compost, that little bit of compost that I gave them to start the finished compost, for that to help spread, and for the plants to do a lot of turning that into a great environment. So this is kind of walk away and forget them. The reason I put a little bit on top is also for the light intensity, to protect the tomatoes, because it's still hot, and so a little bit of shade goes a long way this time of year. All right, hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.